Do you know what? He's going to end up being ill.
Good afternoon, good evening. Welcome to the channel. After 380 matches, 34,200 minutes, the 23-24 Premier League season has finished. Boo! But one good thing, Man City become champions, which isn't a good thing particularly, but Arsenal didn't. So we will be looking back at the weekend's football and probably doing a season review as well as to how we think Spurs performed. But as always, on a Monday, I'm joined by Jimbo and Chang and Ellie if she turns up. But in the minute, we've got Jimbo and Chang. So Jimbo, how are you doing?
I'm good. I was very rude when Chang come on. I was on my phone doing something that I had to finish. And I wanted to ask Chang how his lovely wife and two beautiful girls are. Sorry, Chang, I was very rude.
Yeah, go on, Chang. How's your family?
Okay. Oh, my family are doing very, very well. Thank you for checking on them. They are now trying to get over the line because the you call it a mid-year examination. Mid-year examination for the primary school students here in Malaysia is just around the corner towards the end of May, and we are busy preparing for their respective examinations. But otherwise, the family is doing very well. They are doing very good, and they are very much looking forward to spending their summer holidays from June onwards once the examinations are over in a fortnight's time from today. And by the way, I just before we get into proceedings and explore the weekend's final round of fixtures from 24 hours earlier, I think it's rather prudent for me to issue an official statement right here and now to address a statement, or rather a detail, which I mentioned from our last show together on Friday, some 72 hours earlier during Friday's pre-weekend preview together. And that would be the bet or the dare a Woolwich fan put me to task with regards to donning an Arsenal jersey. So I realized there and then when I made certain assumptions or permutations to that effect on this matter, that it may have rubbed some people the wrong way on this matter, or that it may even have left a very bad aftertaste, or even tainted my reputation or that of this channel and its host when I had a sort of slip of the tongue to this effect. So for that, I wholly and fully apologize for ever giving anyone the impression or the notion that I may ever don a Woolwich shirt or even wear anything that even resembles the color red, whether it's a United kit, a Liverpudlian kit, or anything with a crimson hue, apart from maybe the English national footballing colors, of which I do own a few of them myself. And that I would like to state for the record that I would never ever will I ever be caught dead or alive wearing anything that is Woolwich associated, regardless of the stipulations or kickbacks that come with it. And that this unsavory topic would never ever be addressed ever again, whether it's on this channel or any other Spurs channels or even on YouTube together. And so with that, I would like to draw a veil on this matter, just bury the hatchet, and let's kick on with today's season review finale for the next hour or so.
Chang, that is one of the best speeches I've ever heard, particularly when you said you'll never wear anything with a crimson hue. I absolutely love it. But yeah, if people get rubbed up the wrong way, I say tough shit, because, you know, they probably wouldn't wear a Spurs shirt. So, you know, if you don't like it, then suck it up, Buttercup. That's all I'm going to say. But before we get into it, let's have a look who's in the chat. We've got King Cobber. David Shears says, geez, cutting it fine, Cobber. Drew La is in the house. Big up, Drew. I hope you're well, my lovely. Fiona's here. Good afternoon, lovely. Cole Simpson says, hello, Kate, Jimbo, and Chang. Everyone in the chat. Big up, Cole. Hope you're well. El Dante is here. Says, big up to the three of you. Hope you're well. Hey to all in the chat. Hope everyone's good. Big up, Georgie. She's here saying, Kate Fan TV. Hope you're well, lovely. Big up, Mia. Good to see you. Hope you are well. Yes, Chang with his statement. God bless him. Where's the trophy dodgers? It's funny, tonight Terry has been hunting high and low to find an Arsenal fan to come on the top six. What a surprise. Egal suddenly busy. Every week leading up to this final week, he's been, I'm there. All of a sudden today he's busy. There we go. There is not a nicer guy than Chang. I could listen to you all day, my friend. Yes, Chang is a legend. Big up, Wilton. Good to see you. Says, yesterday was a better day than of late. I'm not happy the way we finished, but it's better than last season. Yeah, massive improvement. Have I caught up with everyone? No, here we go. I would quite like Chang to stand up in the end and say, just need to take the Arsenal shirt off. Anthony Clark. Hey, we've got a Gooner in the house. Massive big up to you, Anthony, for having the bottle to come in. Not that you're going to get any stick from me particularly, but a lot of Arsenal fans wanted to hide it. But he said that he's in top Gooners are embarrassing fan base and pissing me off. Yes, the thing is they've been giving it a hell of a lot, and now I'm afraid they have to take it. Good morning, Rinketic. Good to see you. David Shear, legend, been a member for 6 months. Said 6 months, it's flown by. Enjoy the summer. Yeah, it's beautiful here. Spent the whole weekend in and out of the swimming pool. It's been absolutely lovely. And we had a barbie yesterday. So life is good. What can we say? But I thought there's only one way to... no, that's not it. There's only one way to start. Man City breaking history yesterday. 4 titles in a row. Unbelievable. Plus, Phil Foden got man of the match yesterday. He was a sensational and Premier League player of the season. Jim, what are your thoughts on the game, the fact they're champions, Foden, anything you want to say?
Well, they're just too good. I was talking to Paul on WhatsApp this morning, and I said to him, Paul, he comes in here.
The Irish.
Yeah.
Right, okay.
He comes in. He's a subscriber to the channel. I'm not sure if he's a member, but he definitely comes in. I said to him this morning that about Arsenal not getting a better. I am talking about City here, Kate. Arsenal not getting a better chance to win the league last season and this season. They're never ever going to get a better chance than this, I don't think, because City started the season so bad for them, which is not bad for other teams. Most teams would like to start the season like them, but they started very bad this season and they looked a bit off it. And I actually predicted them to finish out the top 4, I think. And I'm just a bit dolly sometimes because they just kick in, don't they? And when they kick in, everyone's in trouble. They're just such a good team, and I don't know who's going to derail them. I'm going to predict the Spurs are going to derail them because I love my team so much.
What a surprise!
But I just can't see. I mean, and Foden, he's won 6 Premier League titles, and he's 23 years old. I mean, it's just a joke. I mean, the guy is phenomenal, and Man City are phenomenal, and it's quite sad, really. I think for the Premiership, because it would be nice to see other teams win it, but they're just too good, and they're only going to get better because they've got so much money. Once they sort out these 115 charges, and I don't know what's going to happen there, but if they end up getting away with it and kicking on, who's going to derail them? I don't know.
Yeah, I can't disagree. Man massive big up to David Shear, who gifted a membership, and it went to Phil P. Woo! So big up to both of you. Thanks, David. Chang, what do you make of Manchester City and Phil Foden? What are your thoughts?
Well, first and foremost, congratulations are in order, I believe, for Manchester City settling an unprecedented, historical, record-breaking 4 consecutive Premiership titles. And for Phil Foden, what a player he's been for Manchester City this season. And it's been a long time coming, truth be told. And if there's anything that can be, taken from his run in the Premiership, his form, it's that the hope for every English football fan is that he then carries on, he then brings this form into the Euros, into, I think it's Germany. Yes, he's going to be in Germany sometime middle of next month, about less than a month from now. And the hope is that him and you have your Harry Kanes, your Jude Bellinghams, and hopefully we will see a bit of Madison as well. Hopefully they can then bring some glory. Hopefully bring the Euros back. Football's coming home. Hopefully, fingers crossed, football is coming home this summer to England in the form of the Euros. And what better time now for Phil Foden to pick now that Harry Kane himself is finding form over in Germany. Hopefully Jude Bellingham lifts the European Champions League with Real Madrid as well. That's something that he would be looking to get under his belt to take with him with Phil Foden and Harry Kane into the Euros in Germany. So all the best to you, Phil Foden. Congratulations, player of the league, player of the season in the Premier League, and we look to see a lot more of you next month in the Euros.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, as you say, every England fan will be praying he brings that form to the Euros. Jim, do me a favour. Just tell Jen that Amelia's in the shower because she's ringing her. Now, there has been talk. I think someone just put in the chat, is it, let me find it. Is it just me or was Cole Palmer robbed? I assume you mean for player of the season. He's been brilliant for Chelsea. I think Declan Rice has been sensational for Arsenal, but I don't think anyone deserves... The only person I thought had a good chance of player of the season was Rodri, and he didn't even get shortlisted. But, I mean, Chang, do you think Cole Palmer was robbed, or do you agree that Foden's been player of the season?
I mean, this is very difficult for us neutrals to have any say in this matter because we don't have the statistics, or rather we don't do this sort of judgmental sort of trying to referee who is the better player based purely on our neutrals perspective on their performances. But I would say, if I were a panelist on having to choose between Cole Palmer and Philip Foden, I believe you could maybe judge it based on the number of man of the match awards that have been individually awarded throughout the entire season. And if you look at the individual impact each player has had on their team, and also the results that are impacted positively from their contributions, you could say that maybe Philip Foden has more of an impact for Manchester City than Cole Palmer has had for Chelsea, although I could be wrong on this matter because I don't have the statistics with me. But my gut feeling tells me that Philip Foden has been instrumental in ensuring that Manchester City claim a 4th unprecedented Premiership title. Whereas Cole Palmer, don't get me wrong, he's been phenomenal this season as well. But if he really was that phenomenal, maybe, just maybe, he could have spearheaded Chelsea into 5th or beyond, ahead of poor old Spurs, in which they actually did the double over. But strangely enough, despite us, they still couldn't finish above us. Maybe that's why Cole Palmer isn't player of the season, but Philip Foden is. I could be wrong, but maybe that's one way to look at it. But I mean, this is something that all English fans should be joyous. You should be rejoicing to have the likes of Cole Palmer and Philip Foden going head to head. 2 English players vying for player of the season. That's not happened
Yeah.
for a good long while. You will always be hearing of foreign players, whether they're South American, European, even African, going for player of the year. This season, two bright young English lads too as well. And it doesn't even involve Harry Kane. Two bright English lads in the form of Philip Foden and Cole Palmer going head to head for that coveted award, Player of the Season. And what a better time for them both to peak together just before the Euros. Let's just hope that both of them come good together for England next month.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. I mean, Jimbo, do you agree? Do you think there was anyone else that, I mean, James, for me, Rodri's the greatest player in the world. I adore him. I just think he is sensational. At the same time, I think Foden deserves player of the season. For me, he's gone from a boy to a man this season. His game's matured. He's took on more responsibility. Is there anyone, Jim, that you think you could contest it with? Or
I just want to say to Chang, when you see me laughing, it's not at you, it's at some of the comments. All right. Some
like
of the
that
comments
one.
are funny.
Yeah,
Someone put
he's got the personality of a
that made me laugh.
I know he has no personality at all. I agree.
It's a hard one for me, right? And I tell you why, because I think that Cole Palmer is. I'm not mad on him as a player. I love him, but as a person, I'm not. There's something about him I'm not sure of when I see him interview. There's something about him I don't like, but as a player, he's fantastic. But it's a hard one for me because Phil Foden's in a team where he can thrive because of the players around him, and he's a world class player as far as I'm concerned, right? But he is in a team where he thrives. Where I think that Palmer, he thrived this year in a team that was doing really, really bad until towards the end of the season. So I'm not sure. I'm not sure if I would have given it to Palmer or not. Which one I would have given it to? You see what I'm saying? I think he's been absolutely outstanding in a team that hasn't been very good until towards the end of the season. So I think it's a massive shout that he was up there with a chance of getting player of the season. But at the end of the day, he's given to Foden, and you can't argue with that. But if it would have been given to Palmer, I wouldn't have argued with it.
No. I will say that Mark pointed out he's got 30 goal and assists, Cole Palmer this year. And I did say at the start of the season, I was invited on Spurs Kings TV, and we'll talk about the transfer window before the season started. And I said I'm a bit disappointed with Johnson because I think we should have gone for someone of Palmer's quality. And it's been proven right because he's been a revelation, really, to the Premier League. But I do also think this is a good question from Yusuf, who says, does Foden thrive without the Pep system? It doesn't seem to do it for England, but then Southgate doesn't play him where he should play him, and he hasn't got the same players around him. I mean, do you think it's because City have got so many world-class players, Chang, and that's why he thrives at City more so than at England? Or do you think he might surprise us all and be a sensation in the Euros?
Wow, this is kind of difficult for me to properly weigh the pros and cons to this. But what I can say is, over at Manchester City, I mean, with Pep Guardiola at the helm and the players that he has around him, I mean, it's very difficult to not even do well with those sort of backing support that you have over at Manchester City, especially when Pep Guardiola, who is now arguably the best manager, you could say that maybe he is the best manager currently in the Premier League. So with Pep Guardiola being your coach and with the kind of support players that Phil Foden has, it's hard to disagree why he's doing so well over at City. But maybe, just maybe, under Southgate and also the English setup, maybe the understanding, the cohesion isn't there yet. They don't have the same amounts of time on the training pitch and also in the tactics room, working out what suits Phil Foden best in the English setup. And we would definitely see this at the early stages, the group stages, that is next month in the Euros, to see whether he can then transfer, or rather he can translate his league form to the internationals. One would really hope that Philip Foden does come good for England, seeing as how England narrowly missed out on the World Cup and also on the Euros. The penalty loss to Italy is still such a bitter memory. Although it's been a good 3-4 years now since that eventful penalty shootout when Saka missed this penalty. So I really am hoping it doesn't have to go that distance. I really am hoping the likes of Cole Palmer, Philip Foden, and Harry Kane and co. They then do the business in the Euros. And who's to say that Philip Foden won't be able to thrive a Pep system? We will be definitely seeing this in greater detail come next month in the Euros. And if he can thrive without Pep, without the City system, then he has proven himself to be world class.
Yeah, I agree. Jim, anything you want to add to that, or you're muted? That's the most sense you've ever spoken on this channel.
He's a phenomenal player, and we can't take any award he wins away from him.
Yeah.
So, but if Palmer would have won it, I wouldn't have been surprised.
Yeah. I just want to say thank you again to David Shear, who's given another membership. Went to Ronnie. So thank you so much, David, and big up to Ronnie who got the membership. Welcome to everyone who's coming in or who's watching on catch up, Jess. Oh God, so many have come in. James Bond's in the house, another Goono who's coming. Big up to you. El Dante says, I think Watkins could have been given the award. So influential in getting Villa to fourth. But Foden for me has been above all others. But Watkins deserves high praise. Yeah, he does. He does. And of course, the golden boot went to Haaland as expected. But yeah, I agree. Drewler's saying Ezzy needs a call up for England. To be fair, I mean, Southgate has got so many wonderful players at his feet. I look at him and I think if we had somebody better, we should be winning tournaments left, right, and centre at the moment. But I hate watching his teams play. I can't stand it. I wish we could get somebody else in the door. I'm hoping eventually it'll be Eddie Howe. After the Euros, I think Newcastle will be ready to let Eddie Howe go and he can come into Spurs. Spurs to England, sorry. Have I missed any comments? No, I don't think so. We go on to Spurs. Obviously, managed to make 5th spot, Europa League. So regardless of what happens with the FA Cup final next week, we have got Europa League next season. For me, a fantastic achievement. And I know people will say the way we started to not get top 4 is a disappointment. I think for Ange Postecoglou to get 5th with the amount of injuries we've had, the fact we lost Harry Kane, is a phenomenal achievement. And I've got to say, huge respect to Pochettino and Chelsea. They won their last 4 or 5 games and were right up our backside. But 5 games, but we managed to hold on. Jim, what do you make of the achievement of 5th spot? We will talk about the game in a minute, but what do you think about what Ange has done in his first season?
Well, there was something on Facebook that people were asking to give your 10 for him, and I put 7. I was going to put 8, and then I went down to 7. I think I give him a 7 because I think he has done really, really well. But I think there's things that he could have done that would have got us into 4th. Like the last 2 games, the way he moves to some of the players around. If he'd have done that earlier, I think we would have got 4th. I liked Kulu. I think he's done fantastic as a false 9. I mean, he scored 2 goals. Yesterday, and he seems to know where to be as a false 9. I just liked him. I like him there. I think if he'd have done that earlier and brought the Dragon in earlier, I think we would have been in. And I like Sonny on the wing. I don't like him through the middle. I think we play much slicker football when Sonny's on the wing. So I give him a 7 out of 10, and for me that's quite bad, you know that, Kate. But when I sat and thought about it with my sensible head on, I think we could have got 4th if he'd have been a little bit less stubborn. And and move things around earlier. But we are where we are, and I love Ange. I'm 1,000,000% behind him. And if he's back, I think we will see trophies at this club.
Yeah, I mean, Yusuf makes a point. We would have got Champions League football if the English clubs had done their job in Europe. And not only that, I think you've got to mark Ange down for his team selection in the Cups. I don't think we went far enough in the Cups. I mean, what's your thoughts on the season and getting to 5th spot, Chang?
Well, it's been a topsy-turvy season, I'm not going to lie. Losing your best player just days before the start of the league season is not the best thing to have, especially when you don't have a like-for-like replacement lined up and you're only left with Richarlison, the only recognizable striker of any class in the squad. And I mean, yeah, I think there are some question marks, especially towards the latter stages of the league when we were losing very convincingly and very demoralizingly towards to teams like Fulham, Newcastle, losing home and away to Chelsea didn't do our top four charge any favors, it's got to be said. But the one redeeming factor for Big Ange is not only securing 5th, but then the lineups and also the changes is made to the system, the team from City away. City at home, and also Sheffield United away. We really hope that carries on into next season, where we finally sees a plan B, or at least a different setup, a different approach, a different sort of mindset, not just playing high intensity football and leaving too many gaps behind for the opposition to hit us on the counter. That is the redeeming factor for Big Ange this season. And top 5 is a very good shout for your first full season. And I just only found out this morning actually that this season is actually the first season a manager of Spurs has managed to finish the entire 38 matches since Pochettino in 2018-2019. That's a full 5 years ago. So for Big Ange to actually complete his first full season in charge, ahead of the likes of Jose and Conte and also Nuno, that's got to be a big plus, a big plus for Big Ange. I am actually looking forward also to the friendly on Wednesday when Spurs play Newcastle on Wednesday afternoon UK time. There will be nights. It's going to be night over in Australia and Malaysia, but I'm very much looking forward to that. So I am looking forward to seeing who he puts up against Newcastle, because it looks like quite a strong squad, and I really do hope he just gives the youngsters a run out. But in terms of this season, which is all done and dusted, 5th is quite an accomplishment for Big Ange. Congratulations to him and his coaching staff for getting us back into Europe. And let's just hope for a good and a big summer from Enoch and Daniel Levy. Hopefully we get a few transfers even before the start of Europe, so that Big Ange has some players to work with in pre-season before the friendlies, and onwards and upwards.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I think I can't. You know what? I had something to say, and it's completely gone out of my brain. It was something about Ange Postecoglou. Oh, I know what I was going to say. I think not only to get us 5th space to last the season, but I think the whole 90%, maybe a little bit more. I'm feeling more positive about their club. I think he's brought a good vibe to the club. He's made mistakes. I think he'd be the first to admit that. He's not learning on the job, because that sounds a bit disrespectful for a manager that's been around for so long, but I think he's adapting to the Premier League, so he's learning as well. But I'm excited for the future. I think we've seen glimpses of what our team can do, and that's exciting. El Dante says Chang's a legend. Not only does he talk good sense, but lives near Langkawi, one of the most.
This is an island.
Oh, it sounds nice. It's got an exotic name. Thank you for being part of the community, Chang, you legend. Yes, and for being part of the channel as well. We're very lucky. Shemtam, big up to you for gifting and membership. You lovely, lovely lot you are. That went to Rinketic, so big up to you. I mean, going on the game itself, Jim did touch on it. I thought Kulu, I've been saying for ages, I think he does have a place in the team and in the system, but we need to find where that is. I thought he played excellent at the weekend. The best I've seen him play probably all season, actually. Jim, what did you make of Kulu's performance? Do you think he needs to stay in that position?
Well, I like him now. He's big, he's strong, he gets in the box. I mean, I was watching him yesterday. He got into some great positions. He scores goals there. We saw that yesterday. I mean, I always said about Kulu, morning Leo, Leo the Lion.
Jimbo the celebrity here in Denver.
I got some good messages off of Leo and his friends yesterday during the game. I loved it. Put a big smile on my face. No, but I've said about Kulu that I really like him, and we know he can play football, but he's just they're playing him in the wrong positions, you know. So it was a breath of fresh air to see him yesterday in the false nine, and I thought he was really, really, for me, he was man of the match. So, I mean, what more do I need to say?
Yeah, you're right. Massive big up to Jesus Christ himself. I feel very blessed to be in your presence. For the super chat, it says United fan here. People need to remember Spurs were unbeaten for 10 games before their injuries. It's been a great season for Ange. The future is good. Yeah, I completely agree. But thank you so much for the donation to the channel. Chang, what did you make of Kulu's performance? Do you like him in that position? Any thoughts on it?
Well, what I can say about Kulu's performance yesterday was that it was refreshing to see him getting shots away at range from outside the box from distance, and the opener wouldn't have happened if he hadn't taken a chance on the turn, getting the ball back from, I think it was Son who assisted for the opener, and that was actually part and parcel of his repertoire under Conte. And it was actually kind of surprising to me that he didn't do that more often this season, because if you remember the reverse fixture at the beginning of the season at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, when Kulu himself scored the winner from almost a similar position, from a similar distance, I'm surprised that we didn't see a lot more of that. And for him to then sign off the season with a bang as a false number 9, pretty much the same way that Maddison himself was comfortable in that false number 9 against Manchester City. I really do hope this is a new sort of approach that Big Ange has for some of our players who are struggling. We may even see Brennan Johnson there at some point next season, or even maybe on Wednesday against Newcastle United. We never know. But this sort of players, whether it's a Maddison or Kulusevski or even Johnson, playing as a false number 9, this may be the way forward if we are without a proper striker, seeing as how Richarlison wasn't available for the last 2 matches, but somehow we were actually playing better with a false number 9. This may be the way forward when it comes to maybe unlocking stubborn teams, or even just trying to find a way forward when all other avenues have failed us. I was very impressed as well with Kulusevski's second goal for us, because the build up to that goal, it was like one long ball from Son down the left, and Maddison didn't even take a touch to control it. He just pinged it. He squared it for Kulu first time, and Kulu didn't even control it either. He just knocked it past the Sheffield United keeper, and that's what we actually have been looking forward to, or rather what we've been expecting, as that was actually very prominent in the first 10 unbeaten games for us this season. Because if you do remember, it was the Pape Matar goal against Manchester United, the drubbing Spurs handed Burnley away, and also the unexpected home win against Liverpool. It all came from plays like this, and somehow rather it was not on display when we had all those injuries and all those suspensions and players going on internationals. But I hope this is the way forward. I really do hope Big Ange deploys more of our players in the false number 9. And let's see who Daniel Levy and Enoch will bring in this summer, who can also play the false number 9, but also hopefully play as a striker and give Richarlison some competition up top.
Yeah.
Okay. Can I just say, I wonder if looking forward, they're gonna keep Kulu for that position.
Yeah, I think they may well do. He's got a lot of strength. I didn't see a different side to Kulu because I think we always knew it was there, but it just suddenly looked comfortable. I think he looks uncomfortable in Ange's system for the most part, but not yesterday. He looked comfortable. So yeah, I kind of hope they do keep him. I still think we need to get a striker, but I hope they do keep Kulu. I think we've got more pressing issues than Kulusevski, to be fair.
I mean, if they buy a striker, Kate, and we have another striker, say Tony, Tony, Kulu, and Richarlison.
They won't keep Richie if they buy Tony.
You don't think so?
No, because we've got Valise as well, don't forget, and Dane Scarlett.
I'm really intrigued to see what happens this summer.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting. I just hope that we see business happen quickly.
Yeah.
Don't want it dragging out so that they can all get together.
The other thing, Kate, I wonder if they've left. I think they've left now for Australia.
They have. They're on their way.
Yes, they have touched down, in fact.
Okay. I wonder who they haven't took. That'd be telling us something.
Yeah, I think a lot. I think he wants to give the kids a chance, but he will obviously take some of the big stars. But it'd be interesting to see. I mean, I was disappointed in this guy again a bit yesterday. I really want him to come good, and I know it's his first season. But I mean, Jim, what do you make of Brennan Johnson?
I'm gonna hold back on him a bit because we do need players that hit the ground running this season. We did. But he's kind of he's had, I think 10 assists. I'm not sure how many goals he's had, but he's been a bit of a mixed bag for me. I think he's done really well in some games, but disappeared in other games. But I think next season is the season that we really need to judge him. I think sometimes in the Premiership we're especially Tottenham because of the lack of success. We're a bit harsh on some players in the Premier League, and I suppose Tottenham fans are a bit harsh on some of their players. They don't really give them a chance to bed in and grow with the club. I mean, we've had so many players in the past, that Bale, Kane. There's just two that are world class now that started quite bad for us. So we need to give him. We need to give him this season and see. You let him get the pre-season and a season and see. Next season, how we judge him. I'm not going to slaughter the guy because he has had some good games for us.
Yes.
Give him a bit of time. That's what I say.
Chang, what are your thoughts on Brennan?
So I'm just reading his stats here, and he has 5 goals and 10 assists to his name this summer. And given his number of appearances and also the impact that he's had for us, I would say that this season he has been more of an impact sub for us rather than impactful starter. If that makes any sense. So because I felt that throughout this whole season, whenever he's come off the bench, he looks very lively. And I know that the last 2 games, especially with Richarlison out of the squad and also Timo Werner, who's also been sidelined with injury, the options are very few and far between, which is why we've had to rely on Brennan Johnson from the start in a few of those matches. And maybe he's not had the kind of impact we would expect from him if he were to come off on the bench, which I feel this is still his his better position to be coming off the bench. But I mean, the kids this is only his first full season with us, and he doesn't even have a proper preseason because he was signed so late on in the window for us, and I felt that maybe that impacted his performance for us somewhat. Playing in a new system, playing under new manager, and also new teammates, new surroundings, and all. I really do look forward to seeing him again next summer because I feel there's still a player there. I mean, Daniel Levy, or rather, should I say, Big Ange. Big Ange would not have sanctioned 46 million pounds that we paid for him for Nottingham Forest for his signing. So I still feel there's a player in there, and let's just give him another season or two to see what it's all about. You never know whom we might sign this summer, who might even elevate his game, who might bring his game to the next level. Because I honestly really felt that Brennan Johnson needed someone like a Harry Kane, or even a De Bruyne, someone with the kind of experience and also the sort of father figure, nurturing, mentorship. He really needs that sort of mentorship around him, not just on the training pitch, but actually on match days itself on the pitch to get him into the groove. So let's just wait and see whom Big Ange is going to sanction us to sign this summer, and hopefully with someone playing at his level, or rather someone who's playing better than him and someone who can really help him in his game, we would see a better and much improved Brennan Johnson next season.
Yeah, I agree. I've been saying all season, I think Son needs to mentor him. He seems like he's short of confidence and I still don't think he's adapted to the step up from going to Forest to here, but hopefully that will come next year. Shimtan says, I can't see this summer being that good because we have so much dross to get rid of and no one has any money and Levy won't accept low ball offers. I can see Ange getting frustrated. There is that. I mean, we all know Levy won't. He's not one of these people who thinks, oh, we'll just accept that, get him out of the club. He does like to hold out for big money, but time will tell. It's going to be one of those things. Time will tell. Consistency, what Ange wants, and Brennan got good numbers despite inconsistency. Fix that, and he's good. Yep, agreed. Johnson works on his confidence. There's a player in there, like Chang said. Yeah. David Shear's getting ever so excited about Bergvall. Yes, I'm looking forward to seeing him come good. Do you think Romero might be leaving? I might be reading into it too much. Didn't he travel with the squad? Well, I read his status this morning on Insta, and it didn't sound like he was leaving. He was like, been my favourite season, but it's not quite good enough. We need to win. The fans deserve us to win. So there was nothing there that suggested to me that he's going anywhere. And yeah, his wife is expecting their second baby as well. So I think he's settled. I don't think he's going anywhere. Destiny Johnson needs a pre-season. He came in on the eve of the season. Yeah, I think you're probably right. So Drew, let's say that as well. Big up to someone called Jim who says, smash the lights for Kate's channel, please. Thank you very much, Jimbo. Only, I think we are 20 away from 1,400, so we're climbing up. Yeah, we're getting there.
1,400.
I know. I never thought I'd even get 100. I don't know about 1,400. But there we go. Thank you, Jimbo. Obviously, City won the league, which meant that Arsenal missed out on the Premier League title again. Now, for me, they were even better this year because they took it to the last day. They only lost the title by 2 points. They even won on the last day, so they did their job. It was purely the fact that Man City do they always do, and the last 9 games they didn't drop a point. Jimbo, Arsenal, do you think they've improved this year? Do you think there's a chance? I mean, there's a chance they're going to do you see them doing the same again next year, like pushing City all the way? What are your thoughts on the Goons?
I just think to myself, this is what I was speaking to Paul about this morning. I think to myself, last season and this season, Arsenal could have done the double on the Premiership. They could have won it last season, and I think they could have won it this season. They lost to Wolves. They lost twice to Villa. And Newcastle, they lost to. Now, if you're going to be winning the Premiership, right, you can't be losing to teams home and away. You can
Correct.
lose to anybody could lose to Villa at Villa. City can lose to Villa at Villa because Villa are an exceptional team when they're on it. So, but I just think to myself, they lost games that have cost them it, and I just can't. I can't see them winning it for a long time, Kate, because of City. Will City be as bad next season at the beginning? No, I wouldn't have thought so.
What I will counteract with that is Pep has said himself he's nearer to leaving than he is to staying, and there's very strong rumours coming out of David Ornstein, particularly that Pep is leaving the end of next season.
All right. Well, if he leaves, then it's a different conversation. But why he's there, I just think it's going to be very hard. I mean, they're obviously going to go and spend money. Arsenal, they're not going to sit with what they've got. They will spend some money. But they can do it. I mean, I'm not saying they can't do it next season, but I think with City around with Pep at the helm, very unlikely. The only team I can see winning it next season is Tottenham or City.
This Lego fraud of a manager should be sacked, says Anthony Clark.
Look,
go on, Tim.
Can I just say something about that, and then before you go on to Chang? I think to myself, if they upgraded their manager, right, and I'm not saying that he's a bad manager because he has learned in the 5 years he's been there. He's definitely learned, and he has every year I think got better. But I think that if they upgraded their manager, it might be a different story.
Yeah, there is that. There's a lot of people calling for Arteta's head. I think you've got to give him another season. Yeah, again, we don't know what's going to happen with City with the FFP charges, but Pep did say if they were found guilty, he'd definitely leave anyway. But, I mean, Chang, do you think Arsenal have improved this year? Are you worried about them next year? How do you feel about the Goons?
They have definitely improved massively in leaps and bounds. And one would say that maybe Declan Rice was the missing piece of the puzzle for them. And I think the only thing that's holding them back actually is a tried and proven manager who has actually won titles and silverware on a consistent basis. Can you imagine if Arsenal actually had someone like a Conte or a Mourinho or even Guardiola, even oh my goodness, what's his name? Ancelotti, yes, Ancelotti. If they even had someone like Ancelotti who has managed over at Everton, if only Arsenal had someone like an Ancelotti, even a Tuchel, Thomas Tuchel as well,
Yep.
or even Xabi Alonso. If they even had someone like a Xabi Alonso at the helm, someone who's actually won something and who knows how to win, they might even have won it even before the final day of the season. That's how far I feel Arsenal have come actually to glory. But they are taking strides in the right direction. The only thing that I might say to this effect that this league, the Premier League, has actually proven that it is not an ideal breeding ground, or rather it's not an ideal training ground for clubs who are looking to trust the process and let managers, take those baby steps into greatness. And at this stage, there is absolutely no room to really hone your learning curve and to really attain the kind of greatness by doing things step by step. Because when you do that, if you were to try and build the way Arsenal are building, that means you are just giving teams like City and Liverpool and maybe even Chelsea United that much more of an advantage, because if they already have the managers in place, they just need to get the players and they'll just continue winning. We've really seen that with Jurgen Klopp and Manchester City, who have been winning titles. And for Arsenal, I feel that if they only had a better manager than Arteta, they would have easily won 2 consecutive titles. That's how much I think Arsenal have improved. So the fact that they come so close, yet so far in the 2 consecutive seasons prior to this, says a lot about them. of course, if I were an Arsenal fan, or rather, if let's say Arsenal was Spurs, if we were in their position, I could even fault saying that we have the players, even if we did lose Harry Kane, but we still had enough of players to do what Arsenal did this season. Then the fault totally lies with the manager, because the infrastructure is in place, the players are there. It's just getting over the finish line that maybe the manager hasn't yet come to grips with it. So if Arsenal really look to challenge next season, I think it's going to be last chance saloon for Arteta, because unless he starts winning something sometime soon, bring bridesmaids in consecutive seasons might not be a good look for him, especially all the money that is spent. What was it? What, 700 million pounds until now,
Yeah.
and still not a single silverware in the last 4 consecutive seasons. I think he can't last much longer at this rate. So hopefully they either get a better manager or they start winning soon.
Yeah, I kind of agree with you. Jim, do you want to add something before I talk?
I just wanted to say that Arsenal in the end were relying on City to make a mistake.
Yeah.
Yep.
And they should never have been in that position, because I think if you look over the whole season, there's been nothing. I mean, it's minute between Arsenal and City. So Arsenal kind of did throw it away. I see someone put a comment in that they didn't go to City to win, which
that's true.
Yeah, I'm not sure if that's right or
true,
wrong.
Jim. Yeah, no, that's
I can't
true.
really remember the game, but
they went for a point, but the City was so poor. If they'd have gone all out to win it, they would have won it.
Yeah,
Arsenal were playing brilliant.
I mean, they have kind of thrown it away, Arsenal, because when you look at the football through the season, there's not been a lot between them and City. I mean, there hasn't, and it's just 2 points. So it's quite sad. Not that I'm sad because I'm not an Arsenal supporter, but it's sad for their supporters because they must be frustrated. Because if it was Tottenham, I'd be really frustrated. Some of the games that they've thrown that they well capable of winning. But Anthony said that you can't say that, Jim, because Liverpool and Chelsea won it. So yeah, you're right. I'm not saying they won't win it next year, but if I had to put my money on someone, it would be City again.
Yeah, I think they've definitely improved. I think for me, they need a real clinical striker. I think that's going to make a massive difference. Their defence is unbelievable. If they can hold on to Saliba, which they're going to find it difficult because Real Madrid really want him. Their defence is brilliant. I think their midfield is excellent. And I just think they need that really world-class striker up front. I think Arteta is learning, but I also agree that I think if Pep does go next year, I think Man City might well come asking for Arteta and look for him to be. I mean, let's be fair. If he goes to City, he's working with a far better bunch of players. Although Arsenal have got an excellent squad, they're still not at City's level. And I think they might come knocking. But it'd be interesting to see. If I was an Arsenal fan, I'd be devastated because they've been. I don't think they bottled it like that. I do think they did last year. I don't think they did this year. But they had
bottle it.
They had opportunities to be in a position where it was in their hands, and they dropped points, and City dropped points, and it was one of them seasons. But it was exciting because it all comes out. I've just got to touch on Chelsea. I don't know if anyone saw Caicedo's goal. Did you see Caicedo? I can't even talk. Caicedo's goal from the halfway line yesterday, Chang. What a strike!
I saw the highlights of it, and yes, that was a very phenomenal strike from almost, was it the halfway line or something like that? Around the halfway line, what a strike that was. And it kind of reminded me of that Harry Kane goal in pre-season here in Singapore, actually, when he scored against Chesney, of all people, all goalkeepers. So, I mean, what a strike that was. And fair play to Pochettino. I think even though it's only his first season in charge and he himself has had problems plenty over at Chelsea, but for them to finish 6th and only 3 points behind us, and also for them to have done the double over us, actually tells me that they are just maybe a transfer window or two away from greatness themselves. Although Pochettino has yet to fully prove himself in the Premiership by actually winning silverware and getting a team in the Premiership over the finish line where it really matters. But you never know, because Pochettino has done wonders with PSG when he was over there in the League One. And who's to say that Chelsea won't challenge next summer if they have a good transfer window this summer and they build around the likes of Cole Palmer, assuming Conor Gallagher is on his way out from Chelsea.
Yeah. I mean, I agree. This was the whole point I wanted to mention it. He's been one of the players who's got the most criticism from fans, not just Chelsea fans, rival fans, because he was 120 million and he's not really done anything to justify that worth. But that strike yesterday, I'm not saying it was worth 120 million, but wow. I think every Chelsea fan must have sat there and thought, where's that been all season?
Yeah.
A bit like Enzo Fernandez. He's still got to prove his worth to me. But yeah, I agree with what Mark says here. And at least unlike last season, fair play to Arsenal for fighting. And against the Big Six, only 2 slappings. Let's see what happens pre-season. Lucky Singh says, why waste money? Mudryk, Conor Gallagher, Mark Cucurella. I mean, there's still these massive links of us with Conor Gallagher. I don't want him. I know you're a bit on the fence with him, Jim. Are you on the fence?
Yeah, well, I just think to myself, look, I trust Ange, right? I trust Ange, and I think that he knows how to build a team, and he will build the team in the image that he wants. And I think if he thinks Conor Gallagher's the right player for us, I'm going to trust him. So I'm not going to put any player down that he brings in until we see him play for us. Playing for Chelsea and then playing for us is going to be completely different. So I will just trust Ange and let's see where it takes us. But as far as Chelsea, I mean, at the beginning when Pochettino went in there, we know Pochettino's a good manager because he give us in the last 20 years probably our happiest days. As a Spurs supporter, so we know he can manage the team. And no matter what you say about Pochettino, we was unlucky not to win something under him, be it our fault, his fault, or we played teams that were just better than us. We were close to winning stuff under him. So you know if he's got money behind him, right? And you've got to remember we had 3 windows, we never bought anybody. So you know if he's got money behind him and he's backed, he will win stuff. And they were a bit premature, I think, the Chelsea fans, when he first came in, wanting to get rid of him after so many games of them playing terrible. New manager, new club, new players. Some of them weren't his players. You know, most of them weren't his players. Now he's started to get them playing his football. They've learned him. He's learning them. Look how they ended the season. And do you think they're going to be mid-table next season? No chance. Not a chance in hell. They're going to be up there in the top 6 fighting.
I think next season, top 4 is going to be the most competitive it's ever been.
Yeah, of course it is.
Getting to top 4 because you've got Villa, Newcastle, Palace. I mean, Palace have finished the season so strongly. If they'd have started how they finished, you know, we've got Liverpool. Where are they going to be under Arne Slot? Nobody knows. It's going to be interesting. But yeah, Pochettino. I think the trouble is with Chelsea, they've not really had a project for a long time. They've just won things. They always manage to win a trophy no matter what. So I think they're going to
Don't write off United as well. Don't write off United as well.
United as well, yeah. They're going to, I mean, there's rumours that Zerbi's going there. There's rumours, there's Potter. I mean, there's all these different things going around. They're going to improve their squad. So it's going to be so competitive next season without any shadow of a doubt. Tottenham are playing on Wednesday and it's on Spurs Play, I believe. Is that right, Jimbo?
Yes,
you
it's
know, I think it's Spurs Play, yeah. Yeah. What time's it on? Do you know? UK time?
I can look. I'm not sure, but I can look while you're talking.
Yeah, I was
I
just
believe
thinking
it's.
Oh, I can't.
It was supposed to.
Sorry, go on.
Sorry, it's supposed to kick off at 7:30 p.m. local Australian time. I believe that should be 3:30 p.m. UK time on Wednesday. So it's going to be a 3:30 p.m. afternoon kickoff for the friendly. I'm just going to get a confirmation of the time here.
Oh, 10:45 a.m. Everyone's saying.
Okay, so it's a lot.
Oh.
Hang
Yeah,
on.
so it's the morning.
Wow.
What, Chang? What?
I think, okay, I might need to resynchronize my times here because according to this, it's going to be, this can't be right. I think there's something wrong with my timing here. It's supposed to be at 5:45 a.m. On a Thursday morning, which I think is a different time zone altogether. So I may have to resync this. But yeah, this is the problem really when Tottenham play away from the UK, because all my time zones were originally in the UK. So the moment they move out the UK, whether it's anywhere in Europe or anywhere else in the world, I have to resync this time. But Wednesday for sure they are playing. But yeah, I will have to look up the timing again for the friendly.
Yeah, I mean, I was thinking of maybe doing a watch along for it, but I'm not sure yet. We'll see. We will see. Crystal Palace, Aston Villa, Man United, Newcastle. Yeah, it is. It's going to be so difficult to get top four. I agree. Leo
Not
says
for us.
the game is at 3:45 a.m. for him. Wow. Lisa's traveling on Wednesday, so just have to check the score. Yes. This brings us on to Liverpool, actually. Obviously, Klopp's final game yesterday, anyone would have watched it. I expected tears, but there wasn't tears. There was gurning, lots of teeth, and lots of fist pumping and singing. I thought his singing was a little bit suspect, but Chang, I'm going to come to you first on this. Is Jurgen Klopp a Premier League great for what he's won
in
at
the
Liverpool?
context of everything that's gone on for the past decade or so, I believe you could call him a great if winning a Premiership title and also lifting a Champions League trophy gets you into that category of being a Premier League great. I mean, honestly, if he were a Spurs manager and if he had won Spurs our first title for like what 5-6 decades it's been now, since the 61-62 season. I mean, for Liverpool fans, he should be considered a great, and in his own right too as well, given how he's turned Liverpool's fortunes around from the days of Brendan Rodgers and also Rafael Benitez, just to name a few managers that came before him. So, I mean, yeah, you could consider him a Premier League great, but could he have done a lot better? Some would say yes, given the amount of players that Liverpool have managed to purchase under his tenure. And of course, there's always that other side of the argument that with Pep Guardiola at City, it's very difficult for any other team to even get close. And for Liverpool to have been able to win a Premiership title while Pep Guardiola was still at the helm at City, I believe that is something of an achievement for whatever manager. It could be Arteta, Klopp, or even Pochettino. For Klopp to have actually won a Premiership title with Liverpool while Guardiola was still at the Premier League, then yes, you could consider Jurgen Klopp a Premier League great in his own right.
Jimbo, do you think he's a great? There's a lot of debate about this, but I mean, what do you think?
I think that Liverpool, when they had Salah, Mane, when they had that team, I think they should have won more than what they won.
Mm-hmm.
I think that he should have challenged City. I know they lost it by 1 point 1 year, but I think he should have maybe won a little bit more. But I mean, I think, did they say 11 trophies? Has he won 11 trophies?
7.
Oh, is it 7?
Yeah.
7. Yeah, he's won 7, which I suppose I would take that all day long. But I think that maybe he should have done a bit better than he's done. Yeah, he's definitely a Liverpool great. He's won the Champions League and he's won the Premier League. FA Cup, have they won?
Yes, I think they have. They have.
And they've won the Carabao Cup,
League Cup.
right?
Yep.
Yeah.
League Cup as well.
Yeah. I mean, if we had a manager and he'd won all that, yeah, he would be a Tottenham legend. So he's a Liverpool legend. And I suppose you can put him as a Premier League legend. I wouldn't argue that he's not. He's won all 4 trophies. So what? Not much more he can do, really, I suppose.
Yeah.
But I just think that he should have challenged for the Premiership a bit more. He's been there. How long has he been there?
9 years.
9 years.
So he's won 7 trophies in 9 years.
Yeah. He's. We'd have took it. So.
I mean, for me, I can understand people saying he's not. For me, he is. And I tell you, for one reason, he's won everything. Number 2, he's made the Premier League interesting and brought that rivalry back. I think the obviously you can't compare it to Wenger and Ferguson, but I think the Pep and Klopp rivalry was brilliant for the Premier League. 3, he's left Liverpool in a far, far better position than when he arrived, which not many managers do that when they leave. Look at them like Mourinho and Conte. They normally leave and it's a disaster class. So I think he's a great. I think he should be remembered as a great. I personally, he drives me insane. He irritates the crap out of me. But I think the Premier League is going to lose something with him leaving. I'm a bit sad to see him go. I think to get Arne Slot, I like Arne Slot, but I do think that's a step down for Liverpool. But it will be interesting to see what he does. I understand both arguments, but I would put him as a Premier League great. I mean, I did a poll, 62% said he is a great, 23% said they don't care, and no was 15%.
I'm on the fence if I don't really care as well.
No, but I mean, when I look back and I think of the 2010s or whatever it is, 2020s, I will always think of Klopp and Pep. So for me, that makes him a great because he's had an impact on the Premier League. And without that rivalry, there's not that much rivalry anymore, is there?
No.
And I liked it. But I agree. Someone said, I don't know if it was you, Chang. Was it you that said someone said that he thinks that Klopp will go to a German club, Pep will eventually leave and go to a foreign club, and the rivalry will start in another league. I heard someone say it on telly.
Yeah, you're right. Someone did say that.
Yeah.
But it wasn't me. Unfortunately, it wasn't me.
Someone said it, but I agree.
I tell you it was. I said too it was. I think it was AJ. I think AJ said it.
No, I don't. I think it was Sam. But anyway, whoever said it, I agree with what they said. I think that rivalry will continue in Europe somewhere. But yeah, I thought, like I said, I thought his singing was a little bit suspect yesterday, Klopp, and his gurning is definitely strange. I won't miss that or the fist pumps. But I think the city of Liverpool will miss him. But I did think there'd be more emotion than there was. He was just he looked like he was on drugs. He was so hyped up, but there we go. So yeah, for me, he's a Premier League great. I'm waffling now. But so the table finished with City, Arsenal, Liverpool, Villa, Spurs, Chelsea, Newcastle, and Manchester United. Do we think Eric Ten Hag will be at Manchester United at the start of the next season, Chang? What do you think?
I think it all comes down to the FA Cup final. I really do. Because if they do not win at least the FA Cup final, was it next weekend? I think it is. If they don't win the FA Cup final, then there is no point in sticking with him. Although I feel that maybe it's a bit harsh given the kind of players and the kind of injuries that they have. When you look at their last 2 league games, having Johnny Evans and Casemiro as your centre backs, that's not something any top Premier League manager will want to have for a centre back pairing, especially when you have Liverpool's and Chelsea's, even Spurs and Arsenal and Cities, even Newcastle and Villa trying to assert you as the next top 4 team in the league. That's not something any manager want to work with. So if he does do the unthinkable, if he does do the unthinkable and actually beat City to the FA Cup, then yes, I think he stands a chance of maybe just given maybe one season or even half a season. But if he doesn't lift the FA Cup, then yes, his tenure will come into question. And I can see why, Alex Ferguson, if he has any say in this on the managerial appointment, they would be looking to get someone in fairly quickly, because as you so rightly pointed out, we are going to witness the closest ever top four, or one of the hardest top four, competitions next season. And if Manchester United don't start moving soon, they are going to be left out for a good long while. Because I can honestly see Chelsea definitely getting one of them, because I know that they will spend, and Pochettino has done better than United since his Tottenham Hotspur days. So unless they get their act together, I have a feeling that Manchester United are going to be left behind in a few more seasons to come. So they have to get their act together, and I don't think Erik ten Hag will be around to see that.
Okay, Jimbo, what's your thoughts on Ten Hag?
I don't think he's going anywhere. I think he's staying. I don't really understand the man, because he had his own way of playing and he did really well. And then he changed when he come to Man United. So I don't really get him why he did that, And if he never had the players to fit his system, he should have got him in. But I'm not really sure what to make of the man. I don't like him. I don't like his interviews. Cringy speech he gives.
Yeah.
At the end, really cringy. But will they beat City in the cup? I wouldn't think so, but they can beat them. I'm not saying they won't beat them. You know what Man United are like. All right, Ben. Man United are a funny team. You don't think they're going to show up? Have you just put lipstick on?
Yeah.
Oh, your lips got all red. They do turn up sometimes when they need to turn up. We saw that against Liverpool. So they've still got a chance of winning the cup. But if I thought, were they going to win it? No, but they have got a good chance, because if they turn up, they've got a chance. But I don't know what to make of him, Kate. I don't, honestly. I'm just glad he's not our manager.
I mean, in my view is you don't become a bad manager overnight. And I think he's there. He's going to stay next season. I know a lot of people don't think he will. A lot of people want him out. But as someone rightly just said, he won a trophy last season. He's been absolutely riddled with injuries this season. Yeah, it was John James. He's a Man United fan. I think he stays. I can't see him getting rid of him this year, but it'll be interesting to see. This, as always, there's a million rumours. So
look.
I don't think it matters if he wins or loses the FA Cup final. I think he stays regardless.
I don't really know that much about Man United, especially with him there. Because when Fergie was there, I took a lot of interest and knew a lot about his teams and his formations now. But I don't really know a lot about this guy. I've not really took much notice of Man United. But what I've seen people write Man United supporters, he's kind of what's the words? He's brought on his own downfall on a lot of games by playing the wrong players and putting players in the wrong positions. This is only what I've read. I don't know if it's true. So it looks like he's orchestrated his own downfall in a way. That's what I've read. Reading between the lines with Man United fans. There's a Man United fan in here can tell me if I'm wrong or not. But that's what by reading what fans have written. That's what I get.
Yeah. I get this. I agree with you, Jim. I think it's baffling. He played this way at Ajax. He then went and bought a load of Ajax players into Manchester United, and then changed the way he played.
And Ajax, which is fantastic to watch
I
as well.
I know. It's like he's had a bang on the head. I don't know why. It doesn't make sense. They brought him in to play that way. And he brought the players he wanted to play that way, and then he said, "I'm not going to play that way." It baffles me. But
well, you know me, Kate, I don't watch a lot of foreign games. There's certain teams, if I see they're on, I might watch them. But when he was at Ajax, I would go out my way to watch them because they were enjoyable to watch the football they played. You know.
Yeah.
If I can just quickly say something about Erik ten Hag, I felt that when he came from Ajax, there was one player which he really should have brought with him from Ajax, and that was Hakim Ziyech. If only he had brought Hakim Ziyech from Ajax with him when he went to Manchester United, they might actually be a whole lot better, because that Hakim Ziyech, he actually provides a lot of goals and assists for Ajax when he was at the helm, even more so than I think it's Van der Beek. I think it was also Van der Beek when Ten Hag was at Ajax. He definitely actually I would actually rate him higher than Van der Beek. So that was maybe the one missing piece of the puzzle, the same way Declan Rice is for Arsenal right now. And now that Hakim Ziyech has completely fallen off from the Premier League, I think it's very difficult for him to recapture the sort of form that he had at Ajax, unless he actually gets the players that he wants this coming summer transfer window, and maybe try to freshen up some of the players as well, because you can see the likes of Casemiro. Casemiro is on his way out. The same can be said about their defenders as well. I mean, if you really trust to Johnny Evans to still be part of your defensive setup for next season, you are going to be mauled alive. So good luck to you, Erik ten Hag, if you're still in charge of Manchester United come next season.
Yeah, I agree with what you're saying. Do you know what? I feel so sorry for Van der Beek, because I thought he was a sensational little player.
I loved him.
He's never got the chance, or he never got the chance at United, and his career seems to have stalled massively. So,
I was screaming when I threw him to Tottenham to buy him. He was one of the players I really wanted Tottenham to buy, and he's been ruined there, absolutely ruined. And I hate seeing good players get ruined, even no matter what club they play for. If they're a good footballer, they're enjoyable to watch. You don't want them to be ruined, and he was absolutely ruined at Man United.
Yeah, I agree. 100%. I've got to give another shout out to this guy. I think what Unai Emery does at Villa gets a little bit overlooked. But he has transformed them from a side that regularly fights relegation to a top 4 team this year. I mean, Jim, what do you make of Emery and what he's doing at Villa?
Well, I messaged my best mate Frankie. He's a Villa supporter, and congratulated him. And I did it with a smile on my face, because I love Villa to do well for Frankie, even though they took our spot, which I was gutted about. But I'm happy for Frank that they're in the Champions League. I'm not sure Frank's happy, because he said that they're not ready for it. He's always honest about Villa. I never bullshits about Villa. He's always honest, and he don't think they're ready. But I mean, what a manager! He's been a breath of fresh air, let's say, to the Premier League, because Villa are a massive team, right? And a massive English team. Their history is second to none. So they should be in the Premier League. It was sad when they went down. So it's been a breath of fresh air to see him bring Villa a bit of joy to Villa fans. So I'm big admirer of Emery's, and happy that they're back where they should be, near the top of the table.
I think he'd be disappointed, Emery, in the fact they didn't win the Europa League, because I honestly thought they were a banker to win it. But had they have won Europa League, I don't think they would have got the top 4. I think because they went out of the top 4, the Europa League, that was their priority then, to get top 4.
Yeah, but I think if you ask Villa fans, Kate, I think they would have rather have won the trophy.
Yeah, bloody right, I would too. I mean, Chang, what do you make of what Emery's done at Villa and how he's turned them around?
Well, I would say he's done a fantastic job, even more so than Pochettino and Ten Hag, honestly, because to be even top 4 this season, ahead of the likes of Chelsea, Manchester United, ahead of us, even Newcastle United, I think that's a great achievement for them. Although, if you look at their result yesterday, losing 5-0, was it, to Crystal Palace?
Yeah.
It really makes you wonder. It really does make you wonder if only we had one more win from some game, whatever game,
Yep.
we would have actually pipped them to 4th if we had actually done the job over City. Although that might lead to some fans saying, we would rather lose to City than to see Arsenal lift the title, so on and so forth. But as far as Emery is concerned, I think he's done a very good job when you consider he actually has Clement Longley. He has Clement Longley in defense, and yet they still finish above us when we still have Van der Ven and Romero. That just tells you he's actually doing what any logical manager would do when it comes to just not shutting up shop, parking the bus, playing with logic and some sporting acumen, or rather footballing acumen, winning when it really matters rather than just sticking to one single philosophy and not really adjusting and adapting, which is why I think Big Ange fell short this season. So for Emery to have done that and to be able to finish above the likes of United, Liverpool, Tottenham, and also Newcastle, fair play to Emery. You deserve top 4. And I think next season is going to be very challenging for Aston Villa to remain in the top 4. If Chelsea do reinforce and if Manchester United do reinforce as well. And as you already mentioned earlier, it's going to be a very interesting top 4 race next season. But you can bet that Unai Emery and Aston Villa are going to be challenging there as well next season.
Yeah, I agree. 1,000,000% I agree with you. I'm not sure where Ellie is today. She might have had to go out for the day, and I've missed her message. I'm not sure. Obviously, these 3 no longer in the Premier League. Not really surprising. The 3 that went up are the 3 that went down. Burnley, I'm a bit gutted for Burnley because I like Vincent Kompany so much, but they're so, I don't particularly like watching them. Sheffield United, I think, are filthy, but I'm devastated for Luton. But you know what? They've had a year in the Premier League. No one ever saw that happening. Jim, are these the 3 that you thought would go down? I know you did predict at one point Everton to go down.
Well, when they started losing points, Everton, I thought they were going to be in a bit of trouble, but they proved me wrong. I'd like to have seen them go down, if you want to know the truth. I would like to have seen them go down and Luton stay up. But look, if at the beginning of the season, if you was asked what 3 teams are going to go down, you would have said them 3 teams.
Yeah.
So it was nothing, no surprise. But it's been a funny season with people losing points. I think Forest done brilliant to stay up. They got something about them, Forest, didn't they? And they got a good owner who backs them. So no, the 3 that went down, I expected to go down.
Yeah. Chang, are you the same? Are they the ones that you thought were going to go down?
Sorry about that. Yes. I mean, if you look at the way they qualified actually from the Championship last season and how they started the league this season, it was always going to be, they were always going to be the favorites to go down, especially when you see how we have performed against them in the league this season, winning very convincingly over Luton Town, Sheffield United, and also Burnley, both home and away. That actually speaks volumes of just how poor they have been this season. But as far as Luton Town is concerned, I actually did have a soft spot for them. I did feel that they had the players, they had the experience to stay up. When you look at the likes of, I think it's Ross Barkley. They also had Andros Townsend and a few other players who have Premier League experience. I thought they were good to stay up. And when Everton were dog points, I thought that they had a fighting chance. But at the end of the season, they didn't do enough to stay up, and their relegation is justified. I just hope to see maybe Luton challenge again to get promoted. All the best to Luton Town in their quest for promotion next season from the Championship. And as for Sheffield United and Burnley, I think they're going to have a tough time to even challenge for promotion next season. So let's just see who's going to be promoted next season. I believe Leicester City are in the playoffs, as are Leicester have qualified. Sorry, Leicester City have already been promoted. I think it's Leeds United, right? Leeds United
Yeah,
are in
Leeds and Southampton are in the
that is
playoff
correct.
final.
Yes.
Ipswich have come up as well.
So yeah, it's going to be very interesting to see who joins Leicester City in the Premier League next season. I hope it's going to be Leeds United, so we can maybe see a bit of Jessie on some Spurs channels to be in good company with her. I honestly haven't heard of her or her channel, but I can honestly say that I'm a massive fan of her watch-alongs and her channel as well now, Jessie Talks Football. So it's good to have Leeds United, because it was kind of strange to see Joe Rodon playing for Leeds United. I mean, he's actually been very instrumental in their success this season, and I really do hope he does well for Leeds United in their playoff match to secure promotion. And if he does make it back into the Premier League on his own merit with Leeds United, then fair play to him. It's where he belongs, ahead of Ross Barkley and Andros Townsend, who will find themselves relegated with Luton Town. So it's going to be a very interesting playoff to see who secures that final berth for promotion next season. And yep, this one here, right here by Miss Mia. Please sub to Jessie, and hopefully we will see her a lot more often on Spurs channels if Leeds United get promoted next season.
100%. We want Leeds to come up just for the bants. It will be brilliant if Leeds get promoted to have the banter with Jess. I believe Leicester came up. They won the league. I think Ipswich got automatic promotion, and then Leeds or Southampton. I personally think Leeds will win that final. Jimbo, what's your thoughts on who's coming up to the Premier League?
Well, I want to. I hope Leeds come up, because if Leeds come up, I hope Jessie's going to invite me on her channel.
She told me, she texted me, she said, there's no way that silly ass Jim's ever coming on the channel.
Well, I hope Leeds come up for Jess and her crew. So
yeah,
I really do. But which one, I don't know, because I know they're both playing well. So, but Leeds do seem to have something about them. Leeds are a Premiership club, let's be honest. Southampton are as well.
Of course they are. Leeds should always be up in the Premier League.
They're a Premiership club. They shouldn't be out. I can think of teams in the Premier League I'd rather have not being there than over Leeds. So they're a Premiership club. They're a massive club. So they should be in the Premier League. But who's going to win? I ain't got a clue, Kate. Not the foggiest.
But nice again to see. Obviously, Leicester are coming back up. I don't like Leicester. But nice to see Ipswich come up. It's been a long time. Well, I don't know how long, but it's been a while since Ipswich were in the Premier League.
Yeah, I'm pleased for what's the guy on TalkSport played for us and Ipswich? Alan Brazil.
Yeah.
He was a massive player for Ipswich and a massive player for us. So I'm really pleased for him.
You know what? Particularly at the start of the season, although obviously they've played well, but particularly at the start of the season, Ipswich were playing some phenomenal football. So, 22 years since Ipswich were in the Premier League. I knew it was a while, but I didn't know it was as long as that. So that's brilliant. But yeah, we will all be cheering on Leeds. Well, most of us will be cheering on Leeds to come up.
I honestly feel for Leeds United to recapture their former glory. They need someone like a David O'Leary. If anybody does remember David O'Leary from the 90s, when he actually took Leeds into top 4 one season. I can't remember which season it was, but it was a phenomenal season for David O'Leary to finish 4th with Leeds United that one season. I think it was somewhere in the late 90s or early 2000s. My memory isn't too good on that, but they need someone like a David O'Leary who can actually keep them not only in the Premiership, but to actually stay at least mid-table and maybe above. That's what I think is missing over at Leeds United. Other than that, they actually have the infrastructure. They have the infrastructure and they have quite a large following in Britain and Europe. So I think you never know. You never know. They might even get an Unai Emery equivalent over at Leeds United next season if they are to secure promotion. All best to Leeds United, I hope, in their playoff against Southampton.
Yeah. I was just going to say about David O'Leary being obviously massive ex-Arsenal player. I actually always quite liked him as a manager. I thought he always seemed like a decent man. I don't know if anyone saw Match of the Day yesterday with old Ian Wright during his last episode. One of my favorite. Well, there's not many ex-Gooners I like actually, but he's my favourite of all. I do love Ian Wright. Such a nice guy, and always. Yeah.
I was just going to say, sorry to interrupt you. When I was young, when I was in boarding school, we did a 24-hour sponsor football match, football thing indoors, and I was the goalkeeper, and David O'Leary was the one. It was all organised for him, and he stayed the whole 24 hours. So,
that's so nice.
That's quite a good memory for me, and it was good, and he stayed the whole time, the whole 24 hours we did the sponsor was for charity. He done it with our boarding school. Just wanted to say
excellent.
that. Yeah.
Do you know what? You was lucky at boarding school because you had Keith Birkinshaw coming as well. So they obviously had quite a strong football connection at your school.
Yeah, it was our sports teacher. He was he was a good guy and he knew a lot of people in sport.
Wow. Good afternoon to you, Early Doors Football. Hope you're well. We're good, thank you. Anyone I've missed? Anything I should have covered about the last day of the season, or that anyone wants to mention? Jimbo, anything? I feel like I've covered everything. It's
been a strange season. It's not been straightforward for I don't think for any team. It's been ups and downs. I think that my personal opinion is that deducting points off people. I think it should wait. I don't think they should do it mid-season. I don't think it's fair. And what people have got to realise is stuff like that. It's not fair on the fans that support that club, right? Because they're the ones that suffer the most. So I think like deducting points in the middle of the season, I don't agree with. It should be done at the end of the season, wherever they are, if they get relegated or if they stay up. So I just wanted to say that. No, it's just been a strange season. It's been a good season though. We've seen a lot of good football and a lot of changes with within the game. You know, VAR is going to be looked at now. There's been a lot of mistakes.
Got a vote on I think it's the 6th of June about whether scrap. I mean, they won't. There's no way they're scrapping. It's too much money. But I really, and to be fair, it does get decisions right. But it's just the system needs to be changed somehow. There can't be a 5-minute wait to find out. It's ridiculous. Mr. Arsenal podcast thinks next season will be the season that Arsenal get over the line and get their hands on the league. Do you know what? It wouldn't surprise me. I think personally, if I had to go on who I think deserved it for footballing wise, Arsenal were far more entertaining than City for me. But it doesn't work like that because that year that Leicester won it, we played the best football in the league by a mile. And yet we didn't win anything. So you don't get what you deserve in football, I'm afraid. But I mean, Chang, anything you want to say about the games yesterday or about the season in general, how you felt about it?
This season has been one of the most competitive as far as the top three is concerned. I mean, if you look at the final quarter of the run up to the the final day yesterday. A three-pronged fight for the title with Liverpool Arsenal and City leading the way. And of course, Liverpool weren't able to sustain the pressure. They unfortunately, fell short towards the end. But it's been a good long while since we've actually had a Premiership title decided on the final day of the season. And I can only expect more of the same next season. And I do suspect as well that Arsenal are going to be thereabouts there in the top 2, top 3 next season, regardless of who they do decide to bring in. And I have a sneaky feeling they are going to reinforce as well, almost in the same vein where they spent £100 million on a Declan Rice. I just don't know where they're going to spend another £100 million to reinforce next season. Probably that striker that you mentioned earlier, the striker that they are missing. They might even get £100 million striker to see to it that they just win games by sheer crude force, by outscoring the opposition week in, week out. So that's going to be the worry for any other team who's looking to break into the top 3. But otherwise, it's been a very fantastic season. And although the season has ended, we still have the Champions League to be decided, the Europa League between Atalanta and Leverkusen, and also the Conference League between Olympiacos and Fiorentina. That's something to look forward to as well. For us Spurs fans, it was just announced earlier this morning that Spurs are going to return to Korea yet again, and the highlight of that friendly in Korea is going to be the Koreans for their respective clubs, Sun Heung-min against Kim Min-jae. I believe it's going to be on the 3rd of August. That's going to be something the Koreans are going to be looking forward to. Sun Heung-min against his South Korean compatriot Kim Min-jae in Korea on the 3rd of August. Of course, us Spurs fans, we're going to look forward to seeing Harry Kane playing against us for the first time in I can't remember how long it's been. It's been since we last saw him on the pitch, whether for us or against us. So it's going to be something to look forward to as well. On the same note, I think massive congratulations are in order as well to Mikey Moore and Callum Oduwesi. Both of them have been called up for the national under-21 squad. Congratulations to them. And one final thought is a very happy birthday to Clive Allen, who celebrates his birthday today on the 20th of May. So happy birthday, club legend Clive Allen. And also to anyone else who's celebrating your birthday today. If you are, you share your birthday to Tottenham Hotspur legend Clive Allen. And I know the season's over, but I still am very much looking forward to the friendly on Wednesday against Newcastle United. And I think Big Ange is going to have his press conference tomorrow. That's going to be scheduled for tomorrow, Tuesday, and we'll see what he has in place for us for the friendly, which I do hope we do see a lot more of the likes of Mikey Moore, Jamie Donnelly, even Alfie Devine, I'm told has traveled with the team. So let's back the lads in this final postseason friendly, and come on, you Spurs.
Yeah, as always. I agree with what you said. I'd love to see some of the kids play. Looking forward to Kane coming back to the lane. Do you know what? I always get really fed up when the football season ends, even when we've got Euros, but it does go quite quick. I always find it does come around quite quick. So, but I'm just excited to see I don't know if excited is the right word, interested to see what signings we make, what Levy does, who leaves, who comes in. And I think, like you say, if Arsenal can get that big star striker, I don't see why they can't go on and win it next year.
They can't go on and win it, Kate. They can't win it because we're winning it.
Oh my God, here he goes. He's back on the delusional train. It was one of the strangest seasons for me this year because the results were bonkers. There was just so many bonkers results, but so glad Ange has seen out the season. To think it's the first time in all that time it's a disgrace, really. But that's what I think. We really need stability at the club. I think Ange is the man to bring the stability and the success. Hoping he gets some backroom staff in as well. particularly a set piece coach. And yeah, and then we'll be on to the next one. But we will still do shows. We'll have transfer shows. We'll do probably the FA Cup preview as well. Yeah, there'll still be shows. We're not going to just close the channel for the summer. But yeah, that's it. It's done.
And can I say, I think the refs need to go and have some. I don't know what they need to go and look at themselves and get some more training, because I think that some of the refereeing in this season has been terrible. Absolutely diabolical.
They need to undergo some refereeing courses or some refereeing classes, because the whole. I mean, if you are going to talk on this topic, the refereeing this season, just look at the handball decision leading up to that Kai Havertz winner yesterday. That was strange. And there's also another refereeing decision that I think many of us Spurs fans overlooked: the red card incident for that Sheffield United player. I mean, that's not even a red card. That's like a criminal offense. How can you assault a player, stamp on him, and then the red card gets overturned by VAR? And when I saw the VAR footage that the referee was reviewing, it wasn't even the best possible angle to review the red card incident. That found rather strange. And why did they choose the angle that was presented to the referee? I think that itself is very strange too in there. So yeah, the whole PGMOL really needs to get their act together, because if this Premier League, if the Premier League is to be taken seriously, it really needs, the standard of refereeing has to improve massively. Otherwise, the Premier League is going to be a global laughing stock if things don't improve. That's just my take on it.
Yeah, 100%.
Let's just say the first game against Liverpool, Tottenham, when that goal never stood, is outrageous. Is a prime example why VAR and refs need to be sorted out in the closed season, because that was just a diabolical decision, even though I'll take it because it was Tottenham. But if that was against us, I would still be fuming. So
yeah, I will say the predictions this week. Me and Nick came joint last with 7 points. Chang got 8 points. Jimbo got 9, and Queen Ellie got 12 this week. She got 2 correct scores. She got the City West Ham correct, and she also got Burnley Forest correct. She did very well this week. So Ellie ends up on top of the leaderboard for the final week of the season. But yeah, I enjoyed that. Looking back, like I say, we will probably do. I don't know. We're going to do whatever shows we feel like, but we'll probably do a full.
Don't forget this young lady.
Hi, Amelia.
Bring her back for queries and theories. Was it theories and
I think that'll be starting probably next week. We've got Mickey Hazard coming on to do a season review. Then I'm going to have certain different guests on each week to give their view on the season as well. So we've got loads coming up. So yeah, that we won't leave you destitute while we go and sip pina coladas on the beach, Shem. Do not worry. But Chang, when can we find you next?
So I'm assuming Queen Ellie is still up for doing a show on El Taco Corral this Wednesday at noon. If so, I will be reappearing with her in 48 hours on Wednesday at noon, doing what is supposed to be a view from Asia, but it's not going to be a view from Asia because Miss Ash is still away on leave in India. So it's just going to be me and Queen Ellie this Wednesday on El Taco Corral at noon. And since we're not going to be doing any more previews on Fridays, I believe maybe the next watch along I'm going to do is on Wednesday too as well. Hopefully on Spurs TV with Mr. Eugene. We will be doing a watch along for the Australia friendly with Newcastle United. That's something to be looking forward to as well. And I think that's about it. I think I might even call it quits for maybe a week or two, depending on how well my daughters do in their mid-year exam. I'm actually looking forward very much to just taking them on holiday and just taking a break from doing shows, because honestly, if this last 6 months I've been spending on YouTube has been a blast. I couldn't have envisioned spending the last 6 months on YouTube with a better group of Spurs hosts and channels. It's been such a high point for me in my life, and now that the season is over, I honestly cannot I cannot hope for a better set of hosts here on Just a Girl Who Loves Spurs. This has been a fantastic 6 months since my debut during the first ever members calling show. And if I am invited back again next season, wow, what a season it's going to be next season. I really do hope, I really, really, really do hope with every single last fiber of my being that Daniel Levy and Enoch really do back Big Ange big time. Because if we do not, I can only see us falling by the wayside, just like Manchester United and Chelsea, if they themselves don't back their respective managers. So let's just give Big Ange all the backing and support he needs, and really do hope Daniel Levy puts his money where his mouth is and spend big time and back Big Ange. And with that, back to you, Miss Kate.
Thank you, Chang. You will, of course, be back next season, and we will also. I'll be in touch with you during the close. Jim, you're echoing really bad. I've got to mute you while we talk. I will be in touch with you during the close season as well to do other shows. But yeah, you will definitely be back next season. Wouldn't be the same without you, Chang. So, and I will be doing a special. I can't remember what day it is, but it's been a year since I opened the channel next month, the end of next month. So we'll do a special show for that as well. Jimbo, when are you back on? Do you know? That's it. I've unmuted you.
Thank you. I've got dogs barking in my ears and people talking. I tell you what, our house is so quiet. We come here, it's like Piccadilly Circus, but I love it. I absolutely love it. It's a madhouse, and I wouldn't want it any other way. I don't know where I'm next on, but I think the dog does.
The dog's on, yeah. I'm back tonight at 6 o'clock on the top 6 on the football terrace. And we will do a show at some point this week, but I don't know what day. So keep your eyes peeled. I might do a member show Thursday for an end of season review. But yeah, keep your eyes peeled, everyone. Thanks to, special thanks to, let me go through them quickly. Shemtan for gifting a membership. Jesus Christ himself for a donation to the channel and Super Chat. Jim with a donation and Super Chat. David Shear for 2 memberships that he gifted that went to Ronnie and Phil P, and also for a 6-month members chat. It's been a great show. It's been an excellent season. Thank you so much to everyone that supported this channel this season. Obviously, like I say, it's not even been going a year yet. So I'm absolutely blown away by the support. Also, next year, we're going to be doing some more, I suppose more neutral shows where we don't focus on Tottenham. We actually cover the whole Premier League. We'll have different panelists at times from various clubs. So, yeah, stay tuned. We've got big plans for next season. So, have a great day, everyone. Like I say, if you're free tonight, come over at 6 to the terrace. And aside from that, as always, come on, you Spurs.
Come on, you Spurs.